How's it going, guys? Coming at you with that final third video going over the collections that got leaked in Source 2. Go ahead and swap over for you here so we can look at this. We have, if you've seen my other videos, we've already covered the Myths and Monsters collection and the Pop comic, and today we're going to go over the Counter-Strike collection. But if you have no idea what I'm talking about at all, essentially a really popular CSGO data miner leaker type by the name of Gabe Follower, I'm sure a lot of you know who he is, leaked that in Source 2 there's already all these lists of weapons. I believe he even found some pictures. Yes, there they are. And we believe they're for an upcoming operation due to the fact that they say, each one says CSGO set op 12. People are saying, you know, these are going to be in an upcoming operation, whatever. And if you want to see these other two collections, check out my videos. I will have them linked into the description if you want to look at that. But today we're going to focus on this Counter-Strike collection. And thankfully, I had someone reach out to me the night all this was happening. I kind of posted in the responses that I was trying to find them rapidly, and the next morning I woke up to a reply from on Twitter here, Bango, which I will link him below so you guys can go give him a follow, show support for him helping me out like this. He says him and his buddy were trying to make a Steam guide for easy browsing, and they just absolutely knocked it out of the park, made us this super cool Steam guide here going over all the leaks. And of course I love that because it means I don't have to find all these. They've done it for me, which is super cool. So please go to the link below, give them a follow on Twitter. It would mean a lot to me. And without further ado, let's go ahead and just start looking at some of these here. And so starting off here, we have the CS20 Dusty. And I'll go ahead and say, before we get into this, we're going to probably see a lot of these that were made for the CS20 collection, because obviously the CS20 collection was Counter-Strike themed. But starting off here with the MP9 Dusty, it looks like this is a pattern-based skin, and it's supposed to look like the floor of Dust 2. And it's apparently in rare patterns can have a bomb sight somewhere on the gun, which is so cool. You guys know me, you know I love pattern-based stuff. I eat it up. Super good idea here, and it really does just pay homage to Counter-Strike. I think it's perfect. Obviously, due to colors, we need it to be a blue, but I love that because it means I'll be able to get one with the bomb sight on it for hopefully not an arm and a leg. So really cool. Just wanted to read, yeah, a randomized pattern inspired by Dust 2 created for the CS20 event. Super plain looking, but just a great idea, like a super good idea. And there you can see he's got it turned, so you could have one where, like, you know, the bomb sight is like on the back of it or whatever. Super exciting. Really want to break into whatever that's in, whether it be a case, operation drops, whatever, and try to get a good one with a good placement. Absolutely love that. But let's go ahead and get on to the next one here. We have the CS20 Elite Veteran, and this is a Freddy and Krueger skin. Very talented artists that have a lot of skins in the game already. Do not get me started on the CZ and how it needs to be fixed in CS2. I have for the longest time shouted from the mountaintops, the CZ and the M249 are useless weapons, and unless you have a skin for them, you would never ever buy them under any circumstances. The CZ, I think, isn't horribly useless, but I think there's some, like, if you buy a CZ on pistol round, I think you have to kill the entire enemy team to break even off your purchase, which is insane. It may not be as bad as that, but that's just something I heard someone say at one point. They need to adjust these weapons. You don't see anyone using them because they're bad. Tangent over. Let's look at the skin. I mean, for a CS collection, you know, silver, I think they do a great job of, like, incorporating it all. I think stickers from the ranked capsule, like the silver stickers, would look really good on it. Super bland, but I feel like it gets the job done, you know? I mean, we're talking about like, you know, blue tiers or lower in this collection. I think it's fine. And then we can see here placeholders for a Nova, FAMAS, and a Galil. So we don't know what those are going to be yet, but we've got an AK here we can take a look at. The AK47 Classic series. I really like this one. Super bland. And this is like just an AK. Like, you know, that we're used to just these crazy looking skins. This is just like an AK you would have in real life may look this way. And I like that. I think we need examples of that. Sorry, I can't full screen when I've got it like this. But I think this is okay. You know, the slate came out. The slate's a purple, I believe, and it's still a hit. It holds like pretty good value just due to the fact that people want something plain. I think this would look really good with stickers on it. I think the texturing all over it looks super good. I'm kind of curious to see what he says about it. This design was created for people who like realism and minimalism. Supposed to be a mil-spec tier design, which would fit perfectly with sticker overlay. I could not agree more, my friend. Hopefully, this will end up actually making it into the collection. It seems super cool. And next we have the CS20 M249 Arctic Avenger. Okay, so kind of reminds me of the M249 that's in the game right now. That's like the most expensive one. I think it's part of the Office collection and it's winter themed. Okay, so this, okay, I get it now. So this is part of like an overarching collection, I believe. And since we're looking at the Arctic variant, we need to pay attention to this here. So this is our Arctic guy. This is their Arctic symbol that he created, I believe. And we can see it's present on the side here. But the cool thing about what he's done here is he's taken the Arctic Terrorist model, I believe it is, from Source, and he's made that pattern, which he shows here, high res, and he's wrapped the gun in it. Super cool. And just like, you know, like I said, we're paying homage to Counter-Strike as a whole. Perfect. Knocked it out of the park. Due to how it, like, the whole composure of it, though, definitely gonna have to be a blue, right? Like, we can't expect something like this to be like super high up. But I mean, as far as paying homage to Counter-Strike, great job, I think. And let's go ahead and move on. Next we have the Ski Mask, the Slump God Tech 9 here. And I kind of like the texturing. I like, you know, we got the face, kind of like the 5.7 Buddy, and the Tech 9 that has like the terrorist face on the back of it. I like how it looks like a sock, kind of. If we look down here, it looks like it's like wrapped over a Tech 9, which I think is cool. We can see here he's made various patches to kind of put on it, which must be on the back side, because I'm not seeing them. Yes, he did put them on the back side, which seems kind of weird to me. Like, I feel like you would want those on the play side, but whatever. Yeah, it doesn't look like... Well, we have a Phoenix one, play side. This one is kind of like mid, because I kind of... When I think about something like this, like somebody said, I want to make a balaclava theme. I think... You know, he went the route of having eyes and a mouth, and that makes it obvious to us that it's like, okay, it's a balaclava texture. That's cool. But where my mind goes is maybe we ditch the eye holes. We spread the texture down and throughout the barrel, and we make it pattern-based. I know. You know me. Love pattern-based. And then we have random patches throughout it. So, you know, you can open one and you're like, oh, I got the Operation Phoenix badge right there on the side of it. And then somebody else is like, well, I have the Breakout badge right on the back of my, you know, I love stuff like that. I still think this is a really good idea. And if we didn't have that face there, we might not even realize that it was like a balaclava theme. Still cool. I would be happy to have this as a blue in the game. But let's go ahead and move on here. We've got the USPS Nostalgia US Postal Service Nostalgia. Golly, this thing goes crazy. Now, full admission here, I barely played Source at all. I did play it before CSGO was a thing, but not like super into it like a lot of people were. And I believe this is trying to mimic the pistol from it. And as we can see here, it looks like he's playing a Source map to try to like show it off. Where is a comparison picture? Yeah, I mean, that is just like so good. It's just like knocking it out of the park as far as like the texturing on the barrel, the colors. Yeah, I think this is my favorite of the blues we've looked at so far. It's even trumping the pattern-based ones, which is not easily done, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, I would love to see this added. I think this blue and like factory new and stuff would have like pretty decent value. But moving on from there, we have the sawed off. It is called the Fiery End. It looks like a bomb exploding, kind of plain, little plain, hopefully a blue, I would think. One thing I think of when I look at this though is maybe it would be cool if, so here you have the explosion and it's very bright all the way to the back, and then from this side forward it's like mostly black, like smoke or something. I think a cool craft would be maybe you do some kind of like fiery, like bright sticker in this dark, and then maybe you do like a really, really dark sticker over here in all this light. I think that would be a cool craft. Making crafts for skins that aren't even like 100% in the game yet, you already know. But this one's kind of bland. I'm not super in love with it. But let's go ahead and move on here. And next we have the Glock knife. Okay, and okay, now I get it. So the Source knife has this kind of pattern on it, and it looks like we can get kind of randomly generated knife patterns on the side of this Glock, which is super cool. I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with MG Baz's Glock Moonrise, where, you know, the cityscape on the side kind of moves along it. It's kind of like that, but it doesn't look like we're going to have any rare patterns in it, unfortunately. And I'll go ahead and pull up the knife, the Source knife, so you guys can see. So these knives were given to us in the CS20 case. Obviously, another thing celebrating the history of Counter-Strike as a whole. And here we can see the vanilla, super high quality image here, and you can see it looks exactly like it. A really cool homage. Well, I'll go ahead and say that. I'm a little disappointed there's no variation in the pattern, really. But then again, what could you do, you know, that isn't gonna just absolutely take away from it? I think it's a cool skin. It's a really good idea for paying homage to Source. And from there, we go ahead and move on to the Mac10 Sneakyaky. And these guys have already given us a sticker that's very infamous. Everybody loves. It's like Sneaky Beaky like. Yeah, they talk about it here. And it seems like they've just made a lot of the birds off that. Hopefully it's pattern based. It is pattern based. Okay, so you see that movement we have there? That kind of confirms that for us. They don't have any images of the pattern, it doesn't look like. No. So it will be cool to see that when they add it into the game, that we can see the patterns, and people will kind of, you know, look in it for special birds, ones they like the most. And then obviously if you could get one where that bird is centered right here where my mouse is, that would, you know, make it a little higher tier. Pattern based, you won me over. You could do random squiggly lines, and if it's pattern based, you're gonna get me. But I don't want to discredit you. This is very nice, but I'm super excited for it, and super excited to see the pattern sheet hopefully one day. And next we have the Randy Rush. Okay, and we have a sexy terrorist with his shirt open. Oh, okay, so it's like this is like a pin-up girl a pinup terrorist, if you will, on the side of this like plain looking P90. Plain as in like, and not like bland. But, you know, we've got like bomb markings on the side like you see on those old planes. Love the colors too. Love the riveting and how it's like broken up into panels you can see. Yeah, this thing is awesome. I think this may be a purple, but like super sick purple, right? It couldn't be a pink, I don't think, because there's not enough color going on. Oh, I love this. Oh my goodness. I love all the attention to detail on the top. Oh my gosh, that's nice. Yeah, I think this may be my favorite we've seen. Ooh. This is one of those ones that you almost feel bad for putting stickers on. You know what I'm saying? It's like all, like, the composition is so nice that I feel like anywhere on here you put a sticker, you're going to be taking away from it. Like, I believe the P90 has a really big sticker placement around this area, I believe, and it's just going to totally cover up your little terrorist pinup guy here, but a super cool skin. Really love that one. Who's this by? Frostbug and Bueno. I don't believe I know either of them. Super awesome skin. Then we have the SCAR-20 Goodnight. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Okay. It looks like we're going for like a doodle kind of thing here. Let's go ahead and pull this up. Wow. I love this. It is really hard to pull off a style like this where the whole point is it's supposed to look thrown together, you know, like roughly done very quickly. And they did it perfectly. Even implementing, if we look here at all the like various things on the SCAR-20, we've got like some bolts here and they made it into tank tire treads. We've got this little bolt here or whatever, and they're using it as the chicken's eye. This little lever down here, we have this be like the trigger being like a bird's beak or something like that. I absolutely love this. The magazine, when you pull it out, it reveals that this guy has drawn the Mona Lisa on it. I'm curious what other wares may look like. Oh, okay. So it looks like the lower wear we get, the white paper background kind of disappears. Not a huge fan of that, because as we can see, when it gets like black like that, it really does not make anything pop like it does when it's white. So I imagine the battle scarred version of this will be hella cheap. But God, I think this thing looks good. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments what you think about it. Something about someone's ability to be like, I want this to look like a kid did it, and they do it and it looks great. Like, it does look like, you know, like a kid's like doodle book, but how they composed it all is just so good. Absolutely in love with that one. Next up, we have the Mag7 Restoration. Okay, I feel like we're taking a step back a little bit. Like, I felt like with the P90, the SCAR, I felt like we were getting higher tier up, you know, like as far as like purple, pinks, whatever. This doesn't feel like it would be, I mean, maybe could be a purple. What do we got going on here? It looks like we've got guys painting. Okay, yeah, this guy is definitely painting. This guy as well. We've got like some newspaper. It's like almost like a collage in the center. Pretty cool. I don't really get, other than the fact that, you know, we've got a CT like gas mask featured in the center, what this has to do with like CS and like paying homage to it per se. Maybe that's it though, you know. And it kind of seems like it's like a graffiti style. For your attention, my collection of weapons in a retro style restoration. The idea was to demonstrate how you can restore weapons from improvised means. Okay. I don't really feel like I get that one. I don't hate it. I think it's interesting colors with the white, red, and black and stuff. I just don't really get the CS ties other than this. I don't know. Maybe this one's just not for me. Like I said, don't hate it by any means. I just felt like we were kind of working our way up, and then that was like a step back. But let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Here we have the UMP45 Police. Okay. It's NYPD Collection, and what immediately sticks out to me is, so when I saw that, I was thinking, what? Like, they just put like a New York Police Department skin in the game? Obviously, that would be kind of problematic for some people, maybe. It's not a good time, and I feel like for people to be like doing cop stuff per se, like regardless of what your own beliefs are or whatever, like that like offends certain people for certain reasons, whatever. We won't get too much into that, but it just seems like something a company like Valve would want to like be like, no, we're just gonna avoid that. But they have NYCD on them instead of NYPD. Like, it very clearly here says NYPD, but all these say NYCD. I like the glowing. That's cool. Okay, this one says NYPD, so they changed it. Valve made them change it, I guess. Huh. Police Department Global Elite. Okay, so 100% Valve came to them and were like, hey, we want to add this. It can't say NYPD, so you got to change that, which is fine, I guess, but design would be updated with description and in-game screenshots soon. Please stand by. So we don't really have any info to go off of. I think it's cool. I mean, like the colors, like as we can see here in CT spawn, kind of glowing. It looks cool. I don't know. This is kind of weird. I don't really understand why Valve would add something from something called the Police Collection. Maybe I'm just like totally out of the loop. I would think this would like be something that like people would be upset about. I personally don't really care about anything like this. I think it looks cool, but I don't know. Next we have the Chrome Fade M4A4. People lost their shit when they saw this got leaked. You know, we've got like the Fade on the Glock and stuff like that. Historically has a really high price. I would think this would be a red or a pink in this collection. It is probably going to have just as high, if not a way higher price. Super cool. And what I was wanting to see is if that Fade changed across the pictures, you know, so you could open like an 80% Fade M4 or whatever. What I was kind of curious about with this is if we would see that Fade change in like different images of it. Like, so, you know, maybe one person opens the M4A4 Fade and it's got a 90% Fade, and then somebody else opens it and it's got like a 80% Fade. It looks uniform, at least off these images. Chrome gradient design presented for the M4A4. What looks nice doesn't always have to be expensive. That is ironic, because this is going to be a fucking expensive at M4A4. I'm just calling it now. But super cool. Like, I don't think anyone would be like, nah, I don't want that in the game. Like, obviously, all of us love the Fade. And on the M4A4, it's a no-brainer. I just hope it's somewhat affordable. I hope under 200 maybe. Like, I feel like something like this would be like, if it's a pink or a red in an operation, we may be seeing like $800 prices on stuff like this. So hopefully that isn't the case. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and move on to our last one in our Counter-Strike collection, which is going to be the AK47 Wildfire. Absolutely gorgeous skin. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with the Op Wildfire that we've seen in the CS20 case. Beautiful skin. It seems to have maintained a pretty nice price. And this is just gorgeous. Same thing, just on an AK, and that's all we need, because this thing looks great. We've got that wildfire, like dragon, monster, flame, whatever, going across it. But what does it for me on this one, we've got that black, kind of like navy mixture color in the background with these beautiful, like hot rod red highlights all across it. Almost more so a candy apple red. And it looks so good. I love it. Oh my gosh. Unfortunately, you know, he says here it's a red. It's the last on the list, so I'll assume it's a red. And I think that means we'll be seeing like gun gear or whatever it's called, that ops prices on something like this. I think it will be absolutely expensive. I think, you know, thousands of dollars, because we have to think about this not as a case but as a operation collection. And historically, let's go look real fast. Yeah, okay, so we're looking at the Canals collection. This is like an operation collection like the others, and we can see here the only red in it is $4,000 to $8,000. We expect this. Let's look at the Chop Shop. $1,000 to $1,400. Another one would be the Gods and Monsters. And then we've got the Op Medusa, which is sitting at $3,000. Unfortunate if you're like me and don't have $5,000 to drop on a weapon in CSGO, but you know, at least they'll be in the game. It'll be something cool to go after every time you're rolling that operation, trying to get it. Beautiful skin. Anyone would be happy to have it. But one last thing before we close out, because that was all of our source collection here. I wanted to make one correction to the previous video. That was the Pop Comic collection I talked about. I couldn't find a sawed-off offset, but our boys found it for us here. This is it. It fits. I think it fits perfectly, you know, for a comic book collection. It looks like something you would see in a magazine from like the 50s as like a toy advertisement, you know. We have the half toning all over it and stuff like you'd see in a comic book. Absolutely. Like, I mean, they made this in 2016, and it just happens to perfectly fit in a comic book collection that's coming in this year, which, you know, it's just perfect. And this is a really good design for how old it is. It looks beat as hell and battle scarred, but still very cool. I think it'll probably be a blue, but just wanted to include that so you guys could see that. If you watch all of the Pop Comic video, you know I didn't find anything for that one. And I think this has to be what they're referencing because it looks perfect. So that is the end of our 3 collections that hopefully will be coming out sooner rather than later in Counter-Strike. I want to know what you guys think about all these. Like, do you think they're going to be stupid expensive? Because I'm kind of getting that vibe, and I think historically they have been. Hopefully we can still get our hands on some of these and play with them. Also, just I know I've said this in all 3 of the videos. Source 2, are any of you getting in? Nobody I know got in. So I'm a little disappointed. I wish I had somebody I could, like, you know, kind of milk to like see stuff in Source 2. I unfortunately don't. Let me know if you guys got in or any of your friends did and you're enjoying it. I would love to just even hear that people are getting in. It seems like the only people that are getting in are like big Valorant people, and it seems like not even CSGO guys are getting in, which is really unfortunate. One last thing before we go here. I am currently trying to get set up my streaming stuff here. So as you can see, I got my got my little transitions and stuff set up. I've had a bunch of you ask me if I had streamed, and I have streamed in the past. But I'm not the type of to go sit in an inspect lobby and look at crafts for 8 hours. So just a warning. I love CSGO. I love looking at crafts. I want to hear what you guys have to say. I'd love to look at inventories, anything like that. But I just can't see me sitting in an inspect lobby the whole stream. So just know, if you're watching me, I might be playing like a horror game, whatever, but I am always, always, always down to talk about CSGO. And if you go to my link tree down below, you'll find my Twitch on there, and you can give it a follow. Come by and say hi. Like I said too, if I'm not playing CS, I'm always down to talk about it. So just let me know what you got on your mind. But with that, I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think about all the leaks in the comments, and I will talk to you guys later.